Hi, I'm Jonathan Ubilla, Search Engine Optimization Specialist from Enspire for Enterprise. At Enspire for Enterprise, we serve as an extension of our clients' marketing teams, and we're an organization who builds bold, creative solutions that make businesses better. The included video contains a clip of a webinar we hosted with our partner Moz. If you're unfamiliar with Moz, they're an industry leader in SEO, with a goal to simplify SEO for everyone through software, education, and community. The section we included covers the current environment and what we're seeing with recent and ongoing impacts to businesses and their current marketing strategies. We will examine user search behavior and Google's predictions on whether or not they're likely to be sustained. Upon completion of the snippet, you can access the full webinar to hear Serena Peterson's guidance on how to be nimble, adjust SEO, marketing, and content strategy to keep pace. Hope you enjoy.
So the first thing is you really need to start thinking like your customer. I highly recommend a free tool to use is at trends.google.com. It has a wealth of information about surging and rising keyword information. So you can assess your content strategy and pivot and change and shift as events evolve. And then also you can see here, there's definitely opportunities to tap into semantic variant that you might not anticipate being media worthy at this particular time. Interestingly enough, delivery hits an all-time high. A lot of people have economic concerns right now. Binge watching, we talked about people finding joy in terms of media consumption, people asking questions about obviously when things are opening back up. So I highly recommend this as a good jumping off point, especially from a content editorial perspective. And then you can always reach out to your Enspire for Enterprise team, who absolutely has expertise in this area and a whole host of different keyword research tools at their disposal as well. And then also start leaning in on the SEO demand. So we know the demand is high right now. We need to consider how to create content wisely. So starting to build up authority and equity in search, since we do not know when the current economic crisis and social distancing model is going to end. It's very prudent right now to start building content that will be evergreen and long lasting. And then you can keep this content updated as the environment shifts and changes from stay at home to open for business. This is a great example of the Junk King playing up in terms of the strengths of the assets that they own and also optimizing for metadata, which we'll talk about next. So updating your title tags and descriptions. So one of the foundational pieces of ranking in search is optimizing your assets for SEO. And titles and descriptions are basically the free organic ad copy that search engine results display that users integrate and click on. So as businesses continue to implement major changes, it doesn't hurt to go the extra mile to inform your customers. Enspire for Enterprise can help perform keyword research for you to tap into these rising needs. And this can include special messages in the title and any critical details about your closure, and keeps that foremost right at the forefront, which can actually improve the overall click-through rate in search. And this is a very easy, agile way to keep this changing and evolving over time. I like this particular example from 24 Hour Fitness, especially Workout Anywhere with 24 to go, download free. So they've taken the necessary steps to provide the consumer information, but also the stickiness needed to engage with customers over time in a very delicate way that gives them options without being pushy. There's also a great example from Adelia Vineyards, who's optimized their own assets, and then they can continuously transform this messaging as events unfold. I like that they've created banners, they've created landing pages, they've optimized their metadata, they've put all the relevant information right up front for the user, and then they're also creating trusting connections online and social media and leveraging Instagram to push that messaging and really build a bond with people. And I think this is a good, friendly approach that has a human element to it that showcases that there are real people working at this organization who are here to help and taking the spread of COVID-19 very seriously. Another thing that you can tap into, and from a technical SEO perspective, what we have at our disposal as SEOs is what we call structured data. There is a new type of structured data that, to go too much into the weeds on the details of this, but if you do have COVID-19 related announcements, there's special markup that you can deploy in the HTML of your website that can fuel and generate special rich markup that can be displayed in search. And this is open for all websites. To implement, you can reach out to Enspire for Enterprise to add the structured data, or they can also submit the announcements in your Google Search Console account. And this is a good way to provide Google the necessary rich information it needs to distinguish the fact that your brand has special announcements, and whether there's a play around sanitization, special temporary closing hours, any kind of prudent information about being an essential business. This is something you can definitely tap into for SEO content reach and visibility. You also want to make sure that you're striking the balance with PPC and SEO. And I think a lot of times one of the biggest mistakes I see brands perform is that because they have number one placement in an organic listing, that equates to the fact that they pull back on PPC spend. And as we know, with more people engaged with media in desktop and not so much in apps, that also means that you can't let your competition get a leg up on you during these critical brand moments, especially when people are spending more time engaged online. So with traffic on the rise, you have to leverage the opportunity to dominate in SERPs. Also, there is plenty of data that indicates that searchers who've been exposed to a brand via ads are more likely to click on organic results. So now is the time to strike the right kind of balance so that you're continually present during those brand moments. So now I just wanted to highlight a few specific examples of how you can utilize Google My Business. And through this presentation, we're going to reference this as GMB. So Google My Business as an offering for local businesses can leverage right now to send the right kind of messaging at the right kind of time during critical digital mile moments where people are moving from online to offline and where they're highly concerned about business closures. So marking your local business in Google My Business as temporary closed will not affect your local search ranking. It'll be treated similar to open businesses. One thing we do want to mention is the consideration that as the country, I'm going to call it, opens back up for non-essential businesses and certain business closures are lifted, you do want to stay on top of this in terms of the maintenance and making sure that things are marked appropriately as open. This is a good example of a brand in Atlanta. As you can see on the map, you can also see that it's marked as closed. So these are really important indicators of not sending consumers to stores in which you are not open is very important. You can also leverage GMB for special operating hours. If you don't fill this information in, Google will do it for you. So it's critical that you take advantage of this offer if it's relevant for you. And the Enspire for Enterprise team can obviously help here. And as your business hours change, you have to update these times when you'll be open or closed if the hours are rolling. And then adjusting operating hours during this time, you can set special hours rather than mark your business temporarily closed. So some businesses actually have different needs. So these are other options that you can consider. There's also rich attributes that are being displayed in map profile landing pages. So you can use pickup, delivery, or curbside offerings that are available in Google My Business right now. And Google will surface these important attributes and can really improve CTR, phone calls, and website visits, and makes this critical touch point in which you're offering pickup or delivery services very clear and evident to consumers. Another way that you can reach out is to push important Google posts. So especially if these are COVID-19 related, these special Google My Business posts right now get top priority. So here's an example from Triangle Pest Control, which I thought did an excellent job here, relating information regarding them as an essential service and taking the time to keep consumers updated, not only on their website, but also right within the browser to surface the result. They've also done an excellent job here pushing click to call now action. You can also use a URL in here to send somebody back to a website if you want, and use a UTM tracking parameter in there so that you can track the activity of your Google My Business. On the Moz side is that this gets the top spot in desktop and mobile. This post will be live for 14 days. Then you do have to go in and republish these posts as needed because they will expire. But as you can see on the left-hand rail, that'll be sticky on top of the Google My Business profile page. So it's a good way to take advantage of what Google is offering right now. And then just a cautionary tale, some Google My Business features are in flux for now because based on the kind of the surge in COVID-19 requests from businesses updating their profiles, some things like reviews, user photos, short names, and QA, those are temporarily on hold. There isn't really anything you can do to escalate these with Google My Business support right now. And those will be rolling updates where these options in Google My Business will be open at a future date. There is also opportunity here just from the perspective of photos when those do open back up. You could optimize photos with special COVID-19 messaging related to curbside or pickup or delivery or special operating hours or special messaging. So those are things to keep on your radar for the future. And then we also have opportunities in Facebook. So hours, closures, and service updates are all available in Facebook. Things about availability, hours, or measures being taken to make your premises or product safe. And then you can update your hours on your Facebook page or let your customers know, obviously, through Facebook posts about any special considerations they need to take into account when reaching out. We also have special opportunities available to us as marketers who have Yelp landing pages to push a special banner or COVID-19 updates. And as you can see here, Score Physical Therapy has done a wonderful job taking advantage of this opportunity to push special messaging around COVID-19. And I think it's interesting too that they've set up the opportunity to do telehealth video visits or self-care PT with online PT assessment. So they've been creative in terms of staying connected to their client base and making sure that they have all those options at their fingertips right when they come into Yelp. So that's it in a nutshell in terms of asset management, asset optimization, ways that you could capitalize on SEO during this pandemic. And in terms of key takeaways, we just want to reiterate the importance of leveraging techniques that focus on where consumers are spending their time. We leaned in on some of the important aspects about what the data and research shows about consumer behavior right now. And marketers really need to be monitoring for emerging changes and having a plan for a new way of doing business. There is also early stage content has a major impact on the likelihood to purchase, and that's not going to change. And so now is the time to really consider the long-term content strategy and play for SEO that you need to put in place to pivot and change for the social distancing world that we live in today. And using Google's shock, step change, and speed up framework, assess adjustments to your content strategy as behavior and events evolve. And also, as we talked about, maintaining your local listing presence in Google, Facebook, and Yelp is a critical touch point for consumers.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please like, comment, and share it with friends and colleagues. You can see the remainder of the video here. For more videos like these, please follow us on social media and subscribe to our channel. Again, I'm Jonathan Ubilla with Enspire for Enterprise. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video.